All right, today we're talking rotor phasing. I've got the man, Bruce Coggins of Division 7 Real Estate here. We're going to do some work on this. All right, so we're talking rotor phasing. Bruce, give us the rundown of what we're looking for here.
Well, with rotor phasing, we're going to make sure that rotor is lined up with the cap terminal dead on. We don't want it to be firing somewhere in the middle. We want it right on the terminal, so we got full voltage going to the spark plugs. So that's what we're going to check today.
All right, let's get started. All right, we've swapped off the pretty brand new MSD distributor cap for one that's a little uglier, has a big old hole in the side, so we can see where the rotor's going to be at. We've also got a timing light hooked up on number 3, which is the terminal that we can see cleanly right there. We're going to see how it's going to arc. All right, you're going to have to believe me that this works, but we got the timing light, we're looking at it, and in real time, not on the camera, we can actually see that the rotor is a little bit that side of the terminal. We're going to see what we can do to fix that. So now we have a vacuum thingy, what else are we going to call it? We're hooked up to the vacuum advance port. Now the vacuum advance pulls on the magnetic pickup. We pull on the magnetic pickup, we're going to change where this is firing in relation to where the rotor is sitting on the terminal. Just gave it a test nudge and we applied vacuum to the vacuum advance and the rotor came more in line with the post. So we're going to do a little bit of fiddling and see what we can do. All right, we're now using 2 timing lights. Bruce has his nice one over there. And I've got my, well, we'll just call it a timing light. He's watching the rotor phasing. I'm watching the total timing because as we move the rotor, or move the magnetic pickup with the vacuum advance, that's going to change the timing. So I'm going to move the distributor to keep my timing at the 35 degrees where I'm at, and he's going to be watching the rotor phase and handling the vacuum thingy. So this is a very interesting process. We'll update you in just a minute. We've drawn a vacuum on the vacuum advance. We've got a known quantity of vacuum, and the vacuum advance has moved so much. We're keeping the vacuum to it. Now we're undoing the vacuum advance pot, and we're going to take it over and probably put a tack on it, tack weld, and make sure this thing doesn't move. Now I just got to do it and not drop all these little screws into places I don't want them to drop. So we'll get this on the bench. We'll show you in a minute. Okay, so we've got some real trickery going on here. We've got the vacuum drawn to the same point that we had it on the car. It's in the same position. I've got it clamped with a Sawzall blade in there because I needed some space under the rod, so that way we can still get the whole vacuum advance pot back into where it needs to be. So I'm going to fire up the welder. Whatever setting it's at, it's going to make an arc. We're just going to put a tack on one side or the other and make it stay so it doesn't move. Continuing onward.
Okay, we have a tack weld right here, so we should be good to go. This should go right back in, and our timing should be where we need it. However, there's a couple things. If you weld this in a wrong spot, or let's say you welded this rod before you even checked anything and your phase was off, that's easy to correct. This is what most people don't know. Typically, you only use this hole and this hole on a normal distributor. So all you got to do is elongate this hole. Now I usually cut this slot out right there. So when you bolt it into the distributor, then you fire the car and put your timing light on it. With those bolts slightly loose, you can pull this or push it to advance or retard the pickup, and then you can make your final adjustment with the timing. It's very simple. You don't need adjustable rotors or anything of that nature. Just a vacuum advance canister that's modified with 2 slits. Easy peasy, but make sure you weld that.
All right, let's put it in. Okay, so we have the welded vacuum advance, and we put it back in. We got it tightened down. We got everything back in on the magnetic pickup inside the distributor. We've double checked the timing. Yeah, we were a degree or 2 off, but we got that squared up. We're back at 35 degrees, and the rotor phase It's lining up, you're gonna have to take my word for it because it doesn't show up on video, nicely with that terminal right there. We're using number 3 just because that's where the window is and it works out well. But the rotor is now phased correctly, so the meat of the rotor is on the meat of the terminal on the post. So the rotor is now phased in, and we put that guy back on, and even if it's not, we're never going to know. So let's put it back to the way it needs to be, and we'll talk theory on the bench.
All right, so to sum up kind of what we did with Eric's distributor here, now that we can see it outside the car, this is my distributor. So the first thing I do, take everything off, all the weights, springs, then weld this thing up. The common school of thought is to bring this full advance and then weld it. You can weld it wherever you want, it doesn't really matter. But full advance, weld this up, problem solved there. The next thing is, what we were playing with Eric's was he has a rod in his, mine doesn't because I got a really cool thing. But it's still adjustable. So with mine, I have these holes oblonged in the vacuum advance vacuum advance here. So mine's a little bit tight. It's been sitting around for a little bit, but with that oblong, you can push this back or forward as needed. And mine's just hitting right here because I don't have the rod in there. I got mine set up with a screw and nut assembly, and that's calibrated exactly perfect. But that's how you change your rotor phasing on an HEI. It's very simple. If it doesn't line up where you need it, you adjust your vacuum advance in or out, and as you move it in or out, it's going to advance or retard the timing. Advance or retard the timing. So then you just got to turn the distributor, check your timing, make another adjustment here real quick, check your timing, and you're good to go. And that's all we were doing. Pretty simple.
Yeah, it obviously worked. I mean, we made it, we trued up what was there. I mean, I never knew it was off, but you know, it's certainly going to be worth peace of mind at the very least. All right, so thanks for watching this installment here. All right, so thanks for watching this episode, and you know, hopefully you guys are able to take this rotor facing stuff and apply it on your own stuff and have better results with it. And you know, thanks to Bruce and his really cool skull face distributor here. So if you're needing a real estate agent, especially here in the Utah area, go see Bruce Coggins with Division 7 Realty, and he'll get you taken care of and treat you right. Thanks for watching.